Hello. Thanks for watching at least part of this video. Thanks for giving me some of your time. I appreciate it. Today I want to just really kind of talk about the general directions of interest rates. And the reason why is, probably like you, my inbox has been flooded with articles, newsletters, subscriptions addressing interest rates and the direction of interest rates. Now we've had a bit of a good week, which is great. There's been some geopolitical activities as well as the recent DeepSeek kind of scare into the tech sector, which has really promoted a flight to safety into the mortgage-backed securities market, into the U.S. bond market, which is fantastic. Now, I think the overall good news is even if rates don't improve, home buyers, homeowners are starting to get more comfortable with interest rates in the high sixes and low sevens. So it looks like it's going to be a good year no matter where rates go. Now, the thing I want to comment about and I want to mention, I keep getting more and more correspondence that the long-term view of interest rates is that there's upward pressure, not downward pressure. Now, I know everybody doesn't agree, and certainly, analysts, pontificators in our industries, in real estate and mortgage, are definitely forecasting lower interest rates. But I think if you step out of the shadow of our industry, more mainstream economists are leaning towards possibly higher interest rates, or at least higher for longer. And I think as mortgage and real estate professionals, we need to be conversationally intelligent about all possibilities. Rates could go up, rates could go down, but we need to be aware of both arguments and why, and then we need to advise our clients appropriately. Now, I want to share two really, really good articles with you. I will put links to both of them down below. And I will share them both with you. Now, my screen is somewhat busy. I apologize. The first article I want to touch about is the one on the right-hand side of my screen, which is last week's or the week before last, Thoughts from the Front Line from John Mauldin, and it was called A Possible Storm. And many of us are familiar with John Mauldin. He is fantastic. If you have MBS Highway, you've been exposed to John Mauldin. This is a great newsletter. It's one of the first big powerhouse financial newsletters in the United States. I think John was the first one to get to 1 million subscribers. I think he has over 2 million now. He's good friends with Barry Habib. Matter of fact, I think he actually quotes Barry in this week's episode or edition of Thoughts from the Front Line. But John does a great job through this fairly lengthy article explaining what the heck's going on with interest rates, really explaining how did the Fed cut short-term interest rates by 100 basis points, yet long-term interest rates went up by 100 basis points. And in the article, he discusses he discusses bond vigilantes. And he says, there's this fear of bond vigilantes, and all that means is people that buy bonds determine the yield because they determine what they're willing to get paid for taking the debt, right? The yield. And so when the market turns against, or when the buyers turn against the market, they've labeled them vigilantes. And so they're called bond vigilantes. And so what, a lot of commentators think is we're starting to see the very front lines of the vigilantes. They're not really coming strong yet, but they're certainly having a little bit of influence. And, many people like John Mauldin and others predict that they're going to get stronger. I mean, they're going to require more and more yield to buy U.S. debt. That's what that means. And so I really encourage you to read this John Mauldin article. It has great graphs in it. If you like graphs that you can share with your clients, kind of speaking here about what happened with the yield curves inverted and uninverted and how it acted really strangely. It's a great article. Here you go, cue the vigilantes. It's a really, really good article. So I strongly encourage anybody that's in the business to read that. I certainly enjoyed it. Now, in addition to that, just today in the inbox, I think it was from today or yesterday, was an article from Seeking Alpha. And the article's title is The Fed's Worst Nightmare is Becoming Reality. So that's what the name of the article is. And I already showed this to you, but I'll show you a picture of the article. I will put a link to this down below. It's another really, really good article. And what it says is, look, hey, the Fed was premature in making cuts, and that in their estimation, by the person who wrote this article, that and the same thing as Dr. Torsten Slok says from the Daily Spark, the leading indicators are for increased inflation increase prices, right? And so that's what this entire article is from Seeking Alpha. It's suggesting that, look, all sorts of leading indicators are pointing towards inflation hasn't been really killed yet, and it's coming back. And so the Fed right now is in a really difficult place. And what the actual article says is, you can see this, and they do some great charts in this too, but you can see inflation accelerating. And they make their argument why inflation is accelerating and now what that means the Fed has to do. And the best I can tell, and I'm no economist, I don't pretend to be an economist, but the best I can tell, most likely the Fed's just going to have to stay put for a while until they get some really firm data telling it one way to go or another. And also see how the new Trump policies impact inflation or doesn't. We'll have to see, but there's certainly, my guess is higher for longer. But as I said, I think our customers have gotten used to interest rates in the high sixes. And certainly, by the way, if they dip, like they're dipping this week, if you have the opportunity to lock clients in for doing cash out refis or rate and term refis, do it immediately. Don't wait. Like, don't go, hey, we think rates are going to continue to improve. If it works now, lock. Anyhow, so I wanted to share these two articles. I want to just make sure we're all super educated on all the possibilities of the market. You can then figure out which way you lean. Do you lean towards interest rates improving? Do you lean towards them staying flat? Do you lean towards them actually maybe this might be as good as they get? Pick a side and then create your advice to your clients based on what you know. And then always be sure to, I love to quote economists to kind of help validate what your opinion is. That's it. I will put links to both of these in the thing below. The other thing is I did, I think, a lengthy write-up on each of these articles in LinkedIn today. So you can always go to my LinkedIn, get a summary of the article, and if you want, click through my LinkedIn. With that, I hope you're having a great start to your week this week. I really appreciate you stopping by. Thanks so much. I look forward to talking to you again soon.